Hey class, good afternoon. Wanting to show you how I use this pg dump command to create the new database. So let's just kind of look at what this pg dump. So pg dump right here. And we're going to, it's just like PSQL that we used for load tables and create tables. We're gonna run pg dump on the database Postgres on the table chapter 3 sales, and I'm going to dump that into, I'm going to pipe the output of this command into a more so you can see the results of this command. So Postgres database dump, these are comments. You may have seen me do this a couple times in the query tool, but these are comments. They don't do anything. But now these are some set commands that set parameters, set timeout, standard strings, okay, function body false, client warnings off, row security off, default table spaces blank. Okay, then you start to see it dumps the create table syntax for the table. Chapter 3 sales analysis, we got double text date, double text, double. So we don't have any geometry column here in our Postgres database. And then after it dumps the table definition, then it dumps all the records. So it's saying, hey, copy all that data out. And as we look at the lines of data, these are the 30,000 or so records. So I hit Q to quit, which breaks this pipe. And now I want to redirect that output into this Postgres database. Now it yells at me, hey, it cannot do that because my sales data analysis table already exists because we did it in class the other day. Okay, now I'm in PG admin, and I'm in my Postgres. I'm in the Postgres database, so this is the geospatially enabled database, chapter 3, and I had my sales data analysis table already exists, so I'm going to drop that table real quick. So I'm going to just run this command here, drop table sales analysis, because I just don't want it. Execute that query. It ran. I come over here and refresh. Table, there's no tables in there. Now let's go back to DOS and rerun that command. So I'm going to just pause a moment. Okay, so now we're going to rerun this command. So now we just reran that exact command I just had, the dump database from the Postgres database. We're dumping out the sales analysis with the user Postgres. I'm going to pipe the output of that command into the PSQL command, and I'm going to operate that on the database Postgres with the user Postgres, and it sets up all those parameters, creates the table, alters the tables, and then copies in the 40,275 records. Back over to PG admin. Now I can do a select star on that table that we just created, because now it exists again. There's the data. We don't need to create the schema because we already did that. I'm going to add an index to my sales analysis table so that it's faster when we do the join on parcel identification numbers. So we're going to add that index, create. This is SQL command. This is data DML. It's somewhere between DDL and DML. Data definition creates a data manipulation changes the way stuff is. So this kind of falls in that alter table statement syntax in the MySQL world. Anyway, we're gonna create an index. It's kind of like creating a column, but we're creating an index on chapter 3 sales analysis on the column parcel ID. Okay, let's do that. Index run. Now we're going to add that geometry column to the sales analysis, because over in the Postgres side, we did not have spatial stuff. Then we added PostGIS, which gave us spatial. And now that we have spatial, excuse me, now I need to add this column. So I need to use a function in PostGIS, one of the PostGIS functions, to add a geometry column. Where are we adding a geometry column to? The chapter 3 schema, sales analysis table. We're adding the column geometry, which is a multi-polygon type. The EPSG code, or the SRID, spatial reference identifier, is 2236. And the I forget that last parameter is a 2. It's a 1 when it's a point, and I think anything above a point in spatial dimension is a 2. Okay, let's add that geometry column. So then if we come back over here to our chapter 3, refresh, we have our table. We look at our sales table. Now we have a geometry column. And we added multi-polygon because it was multi-polygon data type. Okay, multi-polygon. Okay, then we're going to add our index. I think I did this in class the other day. I don't need to redo it, but hopefully it shouldn't cause too many troubles. So I'm recreating an index on the alternate key in that other table. It's called par ID in our sales analysis table, and it's called alt key in the GIS side for their parcel identification number. And now we're going to just update that sales table, set the geometry column that we just added, update the sales analysis table, set geometry. Normally this would be a.geom, but on an update query, you don't, in the set fields, you don't reference the a.geom. Everywhere else you do. It's a little bit of weird syntax. It breaks standard. Anything with a set is automatically associated with this table, and you don't use the alias a.geom. That geom is associated with that table. Okay, and then I'm going to update that from the public schema, Volusia parcels that we uploaded last time using the shape file loader. And then we're going to use the alias P for that table, because now we have 2 tables. And what are we going to do? We're going to grab the parcel geometry from that table, and we're going to match and update where the IDs match. So we're grabbing the parcel geometry from the Volusia parcels table, where the parcel number matches the alt key, and then we're going to update the sales table with that geometry. So we're going to get a polygon out of the Volusia parcels and stick it into the sales analysis table. Okay, and let's just run that. So I'm going to highlight it, execute it, waiting for the query to complete. Good, and now we're done. And now I'm going to share my QGIS. Hopefully it's still running. Guess I share a screen. I don't see my app running. Show all windows. There we go. Okay. So I got my QGIS, and now this should still work because we just modified that code, and it does. So that's good. All right, so we've got waterways in the darker blue with the hydrology. We got these sales that occurred that are a $300,000 sale. We could verify that. Click this identify button, make sure the sales are on, and these should be like $300,000 sales. So if we look for the sale price, 367, and it falls in that category. Okay, and this one's a little bit lighter green, so it should be between 225 and 300 price, 220, yeah, 275. All right, and then we flip our parcels back on to see everybody on the streets. We can put our streets back on so we can understand where we're at. I live down here in Country Circle. I was telling you that earlier. So I live down here right by this little bridge. If I pan up, pan is this little guy here, allows me to move my screen around, and I live right, that's my yard right there. So if I flip on the aerial imagery and roll my mouse forward, I can zoom in, and there's my driveway, and then that's the Spruce Creek that I was telling you that I live in the back of, or it's behind my house, right before it kind of dead ends. So it dead ends on that map just a few houses down from me. I don't know if that's really true because you can look at how dark the trees are. So it probably continues to run that tree line. Yep, and there it picks up again down here. They just don't, for whatever reason, don't show it on the map. And then there's like it's pretty cool how these tree lines work. I'm gonna turn off the parcels for a minute. Anyway, so that's this one, and hopefully this video is a little clearer and easier to see. Okay.